I just want to talk about some craps on the ride to work, and I want to talk about some things, tell some stories in my life. That way I can bounce these off you, because I'm thinking about putting this stuff in my other YouTube channel that I've been trying to get off the ground. That it's been going slow, but I have been trying to get it off the ground. But so, the craps world's the same for me. Still working on it. I think the one hit can't miss with the anything but 10. I've been playing this a lot. If you're a big bankroll guy, this is your ticket, and I mean it works quick. Hello, Andrew. It works so fast. The bigger you can play it, just the more it's lucrative. So I really like the one hit can't miss paired with the anything but 10. It's just such a fast moneymaker. I mean, obviously, if you roll the 10, you're going to be behind a little bit. But in a lot of my practice sessions, I've rolled the 10 or specifically acted like I rolled a 10, and it just comes right back. I mean, it's the idea that you're only looking for one win. Hello, Cleveland. You're looking for one win, and then you're able to play on free roll. So rolls that aren't even long rolls that are like 7-roll rolls, as long as you don't press all your profit away, you'll win money. So I've been doing like a 22 inside press on every hit until I get like to 6 hits, and man, it's just been raking it in. I'm gonna put some more videos out on it, but I want to do them live, just because they're more organic live. They're more legitimized live. So I want to run through it probably 10 times live, and we'll just have an ongoing bankroll for it and see where we end up. But I want to do that a little bit, so that's coming up. But so one of the things I want to run by you guys is some stories. Okay, so this stuff. Hello, Alex. Patty, what's up, man? It's all international today. So one of the things I want to run by you guys is like some stories. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys the story. Hello. My story of my very first night in prison. And now by prison, I mean when I actually got to the prison, not when I went through diagnostics, which is intake, and not when I was in county jail, but my actual first night. It's my first night and into the next day story. All right. So I get through all that. By this time, guys, I've been in county jail almost 2 years, fighting my case and trying not to just get 100 years. So I end up going to one of the worst prisons in Arkansas. And so let me back up. Let me put a disclaimer on this first. Arkansas prison is not a tough prison system. Okay, it's not California. It's not Texas. It's not hard federal prisons. It's not New York or Illinois or Florida, or it's not a hard prison system by any means. Right? It's even though it's very, there's a lot of blacks and whites in it, because guys, in prison, blacks and whites generally don't mingle. No matter where you're at, they generally don't interact, and this is just the nature of prison in the United States. There's not a big Hispanic population in the prison in Arkansas, and again, guys, I'm talking about from 7 years ago, so keep that in mind. I've been out of prison for a while. But either way, it's not a difficult prison system. It's not an overly violent prison system. It's a very easy prison system. But anyway, so now there's still problems there, but not normal. All right, so my very first night, right? I'm scared. There's no doubt. Don't get me wrong. I'm a pretty good sized guy, but it's my first night in real prison. I don't know what real prison is, so I'm not going to act like I wasn't a little scared, because I was. And me and like 6 other young guys like me, all young white kids, all get put in prison, and we get put in this intake barracks at this unit. And so it's at Bricky's in Bricky's, Arkansas. They call it Bricky's. It's East Arkansas Regional Unit, but it's probably the worst prison in Arkansas. Yeah, there's gangs, but so when you walk in the door, you're getting judged immediately. If they don't already know you, they're sizing you up. Okay, so and then another thing is, it was a bunch of young, pretty white kids. We were all pretty good-looking young white guys, and so the guys that are interested in that are really looking. Well, anyway, so that first night, we're going through. It's not a big deal. People are just checking you out. They're meeting you. They're keeping an eye on you. Watching you. Basically, they're sizing you up to see if they can hustle you, see if they can scare you into something, whatever it is. They're sizing you up. And sure enough, this old man, he's what's called a tier porter, and that means at night they sweep up and they clean up the barracks. Well, so my first night, I'm not falling asleep. I got lucky and I got a bed that was on the wall. See, in Arkansas, it's not cells for the most part. There are a couple places, but most of it is like military barracks, so it's just a bunch of beds in a room. And so I'm backed up to this wall, and I'm laying there, but I'm not sleeping. And I'm watching this guy, and he's going around sweeping, and all these new young white guys, he's walking over, and he's rubbing on them. And by rubbing on them, you know what I mean. He's like rubbing on their butts and stuff, and he's playing with himself. And he's way across the barracks from me. I can't really tell what he's doing at first until he gets close, and there's one of these guys. Now, I don't know if these guys were really sleeping or not, but there's no way my first night in prison, if I did fall asleep and someone even got near me, that I wouldn't wake up. So I think these guys were just too scared, and they were letting this guy do this. But he gets pretty close to me, and I freak out. I jump up like I'm a damn ninja or something, and I'm like, I kind of make a scene, and it freaks him out. Like it kind of makes him jump back. But this dude's, even though he's an old man, he's got a broom. He's got like a broom handle on a broom. Well, so he kind of just like poking it at me and gets, because I'm ready to fight because I'm scared already, and this dude's doing some weird stuff. I'm not interested, and so like people wake up, Well, he goes about his business, and everything calms back down, and I'm putting him on blast is what I'm doing. And like I said, this is my first night, and I just put it out there. I'm like, dude's rubbing on your all's, he's rubbing your all's asses, and y'all are just sitting there, Well, I didn't know it, but this little old man, he had a big old bodyguard, all right? And there's a guy that lived downstairs. This guy's a big old dude, not tall, but just big. Just big. He's big, kind of round, but just a big old guy. Well, the next morning, they kind of backed me up into a corner up there, and this big bodyguard is trying to act like, they're trying to scare me. Well, it worked, so I just start swinging on him. And this big bodyguard dude, he didn't beat me up, really. I'm not going to say he beat me up, but he definitely was a better fighter than me at the time. And so, he hit me a few times and it hurt. But anyways, to make the rest of the story a little shorter, I didn't have no more problems with those guys. And the next day, or whatever after that, one of those new young white guys that was just like me ended up beating that old man up. I guess he that old man approached him in some weird way or something, and he beat him up in the bathroom. So the old man got moved out of the barracks and stuff. And when that happened, it was weird because the big bodyguard dude, he kind of came up to me and he's like, man, I ain't got no more problems with you. That, you know, I was doing that. He was paying me to, you know, look out for him or whatever. And I was like, man, that was a relief. I was like, whew. But anyway, that's how my first 24 hours in prison went. What's crazy though is after I got moved to my job and all that, I didn't have any more problems for a long time. But anyway, that was my very first 24 hours. But what's funny is, guys, I thought I was tough. And you know, I thought I was all that stuff you think about it when you're in the street, and when you're trying to be that person outside. But when you get in there, even as soft as Arkansas prison system is, you aren't tough. There is some real killers in there, and I'm not talking about that have murder charges. They're just really bad people that just don't care, and they're dangerous, man. And so to be someone like me that, well, I'm not afraid to protect myself, and I'm not afraid to hurt somebody. I am nowhere near the level that they are, because they'll hurt people just for fun, and that is a different mindset. It's a different mentality to deal with, and then when you're dealing with it every day and they're all around you, and you just never know when one of them's going to snap. And so it's a weird situation, man. It really is. And I went there so young. I didn't really have any life experience, so it was weird, man. And I took, you know, guys, when I started trying to, you know, sell cigarettes at another time, and a guy tricked me and gets the cigarette, and it was getting transferred out the next day, and I didn't know. You know, things like that. I learned a lot of lessons along the way about just how just grimy prison really is. But anyways, that was like my very first night there, which yeah, it was not enjoyable. All right, that was probably one of the worst nights of my life from just like a tension standpoint. I mean, it was just nerve-wracking. But what's crazy is after that, after the people realized that I would stick up for myself, and that's a big thing in prison. So, and I'm not saying any of y'all are going to prison, but if anybody is, just show that you'll stick up for yourself. You have to show that. If you won't, then you're gonna have problems. But anyways, so that's my very first story from my first day in prison, and so why I was telling this is because I was bringing it out because I'm thinking about having a channel that talks about my time in prison, talks about how to manage when you get out of prison and how to not fall back into the same patterns and things. Because guys, I've done really well in comparison to others. You know, I've never had any kind of slip ups or anything like that. I went right through my parole, no problems. You know, I never had one instance where I've been in trouble again. So I do think I have some stuff to offer some people that are in that same situation, just getting out. Anyways, guys, back to craps. And in the craps world, believe it or not, you run into a lot of people that have been in prisons. Anyway, does anybody have any good casino stories? Does anybody go to the casino today? You know, I used to get a lot of those stories. I don't get as many anymore. But yeah, I definitely Well, like I said, Arkansas isn't like other places. See, in other places, you really can't be solo. It's just not a thing. You can, and I did in Arkansas, guys. I don't have a single tattoo or nothing. I was cool with everybody after I was in there a while. No matter what race you were, no matter what gang you were, because I was a businessman. And once I got my feet under, like I booked sports in there. So I booked football, I booked baseball, basketball. Basketball. Now I'm not a basketball guy, but I do like March Madness. And I like Gonzaga, man. Gotta like Gonzaga. It's hard to not like Gonzaga. They're the most overall well-rounded, talented team. They're deep. I know people are high on Michigan because Michigan's on this big rise, but man, Gonzaga is deep. They go deep. Their point guard and backup point guard would start at most schools. So, they're deep, man. They're good. And obviously, I like Arkansas. Arkansas is looking like they're going to be on the 3 line on the NCAA tournament bracket. So that's pretty amazing coming from a team that was a bubble team. But obviously, I like the guys. One thing I learned about betting on the NCAA: don't overthink it. Never overthink betting on the NCAA tournament. If the team is better, just bet them because they're better. I mean, there is going to be weird upsets, but you got to remember you have a ton of games to bet on. So yeah, I bet. But as far as so I'll finish on your first part of your question, Andrew. How did I deal with the gangs? The gangs didn't really bother me. I only ever had one problem with one gang ever, and it was over a cigarette transaction. They bought some cigarettes from me and didn't give me the money. And so I had to go get my money. If I didn't go get my money, then every other gang, every other person would do the same thing. So I had to go get my money, and it was 3-on-1. And their problem was they were just a little too small. As far as in prison, size does matter in prison, and they were just a little too small, and so they really couldn't hurt me. So I was just kind of throwing them around until I finally got my money from them. But that was that situation. And I'm not saying they didn't beat me up too. They did. They were beating me up. There was 3 of them, of course, but they really couldn't hurt me. That was way later on. But and that was a blood gang. That was a group of bloods, which I don't have anything against those guys. That was just prison. That's what it is. Now, when it comes to bookmaking in prison, I learned it from a guy that's from Rhode Island. His name was last name was Flanagan. So he's an Irish guy, and he was actually on interstate compact, which means they moved him from Rhode Island prisons to Arkansas prisons because he was dangerous, is what it boiled down to. Is they wanted him out of there. He was a gang leader of some kind up there, and so they moved him. And he taught me how to do it. He's the one. He showed me how to book it in prison, and he showed me how it works outside. And he just taught me the ropes of it, and taught me how to work power rankings and different things. He's the one that really gave me the groundwork for everything I do now. Yeah, don't mess with the Irish, right? I'm Irish too. One whole side of my family is Irish. But anyway, yeah, so Yeah, I could probably write a book on that. You're right. I had a wild prison stay, guys. I was there 12 years. I had a really but it's a long story, obviously. Yeah, that's right. It gives you a different outlook on life. I'll tell you that. If you just go down there for a year or 6 months or something, you're probably really not going to change much. But you go down there and you do a chunk of your life. You guys got to remember, I missed every day of my 20s. Every single day of my 20s, I was in prison. So. But anyways, back to craps. Anything but 10 and one hit can't miss together. From a consistency standpoint, that one you should easily be able to make $500 a session on it if you're playing with 4,000 or more. So I do think it takes that much, just in case you do roll a 10 and you have to win it back. Because I've been in a couple of those situations practicing already. And every time, I haven't missed yet. I haven't been able to not win it back yet. I've been able to win it all back every time. So, just from a consistency standpoint, because you're only lasting one hit, it just really limits the amount of chances you have to lose. And once you're on that free roll and you can no longer lose money out of your bankroll, it just changes the dynamic of the game so much that it's just overly profitable. I've had a couple times where I went some practice sessions and never rolled a come out 10. So all it was profit. And I got up to like 3,000 and stuff like that, and not a very extended period of time either. What would have been like 2 hours at the table. So it's just really got a huge upside to it, because after one hit, you're essentially playing for the long roll. So when those long rolls do hit, you're going to be there to take advantage of, basically every roll of it. So again, man, there's a lot to like about it. Yeah. I mean, I haven't had that yet, but you got to realize it's not just back-to-back 10s. It's back-to-back 10s on the come out. So it's specifically to just that one roll. It would have to be on that one roll. So that's what. I mean, just the limited amount of time you actually have that risk out there. So it's 8% chance to lose. But, if you were there for 20 shooters, it's only 8% chance to lose on 20 shooters or 20 shots. Now if there were some horn numbers or something in between, you might have to go a couple more shots. So out of 20 shooters, I don't really know. I haven't thought about doing it another way. I've just kind of went from that to that. But you're right. I mean, you could definitely play through the dark side still play the 7. So that's a really good one. Good way to look at it. I just haven't done it yet. But what I really like to do so far, what I've found that I really like on it is that if you hit the 4, 5, or 9, you win at least 140. Well, when you win 140, it puts you in the position to play the 110 inside, but also allows you to play the field. And so I've been doing that with $15, and it's been buying the 4 and the 10 for me through the field. So I actually like that angle. I play all the way the 110, but then I throw that 15, so it's more like 125. But because that field really isn't at risk, because it's covered, now once I place that 4 and 10, I don't play the field no more. But I've been liking that little side piece on it. But again, I mean, like any one hit can't miss strategy, because there's plenty out there. They usually just play against the 7. Any one hit can't miss strategy, as long as you're not hitting that one hit. You know, as long as you're not hitting the loser, you're going to win a lot. So, but the thing with the anything but 10 is it just cuts down on the chance to lose. So one of the things, okay, so this is one of the things. No, I didn't watch any videos last night, guys. I got home late, so I was pretty late. The best strategy, in my opinion, is don't bets. Yeah, that's true. Don't bets established with place bets. That's in my opinion, that's the most consistent strategy there is. So, yeah, it's going to lose sometimes, but all of them are going to lose sometimes. It's the one I've had the most luck with. Anything but 10 falls into that too, because instead of a don't bet, you're just using a 10 lay. It's still the same thing. But okay, so here's an example. Okay, so I'll give y'all some quick numbers on how the anything but 10 works. The numbers behind the anything but 10. Okay, so there, if you lay the 10 and then you place all the box numbers, at this point you have 1 out of 12 on average to roll the 10. And then you have 21 out of 36 to roll a winner. All right, if you break 21 out of 36 down, if you break the 21 out of 36 down, you come to 7 out of 12. All right, so that means that for every 1 you lose, you should win 7. So that's not enough, right? Because it takes 8 to 9 to cover that exposure. So it's simple. What do? You play for 3 hits. All right. So now, by only playing for 3 hits, you've marginalized that 12. That the 12 on the average for the 10. If you're only going to stay out there for 3 hits, you've made it that much more difficult to hit a 10. And so the average is 1 out of 12 a 10 will show. You should average 7 hits out of every 12. So if you're only going to stay for 3, you should be in really good shape. And that just, it puts you way over the top on it. As long as you're going to stay to a 3 hits and down. And so that's the numbers behind it. That is the exact way you calculate zero exposure, guys. So all you math guys that understand math really well, you know what I did there. All I did was made a common denominator. For the 9, sure, the 9 is easy. You lose 1 way to win. So you're just 20 out of 36. So 20 out of 36 ends up being like 1 out of 9. Something like that. Or the 9 is 1 out of... You're 1 out of 9 ways to roll, because it's 4 to 36. That's 1 out of 9. You bet hot numbers and leave. What is a hot number? Explain that to me. So it's 1 out of 9, but then you're only going to be 20 out of 36. It's like 5.5, something like that. So it's 5.5 to 1 out of 9. It's roughly the same thing. The 2 and the 12 are hot. I like it. Bet them up. Well, the reason I always do everything from a basic standpoint, because math is the basis of the game. No matter how well you can shoot the dice, the math is still the basis of the game. Okay, looking for frequency, I got that. I play frequency plays myself. Bias pressing, there you go. I actually look at it in the reverse as what you guys are saying. To me, every time you roll one of those numbers, it makes it less likely to come up again, in my opinion. Now, that it's all just how you want to look at it. It's because I've definitely seen multiple numbers get hit over and over and over. And then I've seen multiple times where points get set and those points never get hit. I've seen multiple shooters in a row never repeat their point. So I mean, I'm betting against a streak. I mean, it's always easy to see a streak after it happened. And so, you know, what is a streak? When does a streak start? Because is 2 in a row a streak? Because I see lots of guys come out with back-to-back 7s. Should I just keep betting the 7? So, I mean, what is a streak? I mean, that's when you're getting into pseudo craps like that. When you're getting into pseudo craps and you're talking about frequency and stuff that is only partially backed up, by math. See, because frequency plays are frequency plays are definitely so if you're there and you're calculating it, I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, if I don't know what you're using as the control, so are you using the table itself, just saying, okay, whatever happens at this table or that session, I guess, what you're seeing? Because you couldn't use the per shooter because all the shooters are different. What I'm getting at is that frequency plays are pseudo craps. So when you're playing a pseudo crap style of craps, I'm not saying it's bad because I do it, but you're looking at you're trying to find a pattern somewhere. So I mean, I do it too. I mean, I do it all the time. But it's no, that's not new. That is not new. I have 100 videos on it. I have 100 videos. It's not new. And the 4 and 10 and 7 thing, you guys, Guys, how many times have I pointed out to people that the 4 and 10, the 7, the horn numbers, they're all the same? It's all the same probability. It's not new. I literally had a video about that. I literally had a video about all of everything you're saying multiple times. But I'm glad you're figuring stuff out. That's awesome. Do your thing. No, I don't think I found it. I don't think I've done anything original. Everything I've done has been done before. I've never done anything original. Well, I do. I mean, I can't wait to read your book. I hope you do write a book. I'm writing a book too. I hope you write a book. I can't wait. I hope you have stuff to show me. I like it when people show me stuff on the craps table. Every little thing makes your game better. I love it. Yeah, I'm always interested in learning new things. I love Tony Leo. Tony Leo's probably, out of all the famous dice instructors, Tony Leo's my favorite. Because in my opinion, Tony Leo's the only one that really teaches you how to win. Out of all the paid dice instructors. Yeah, I love Tony Leo, man. Because he's not just sitting there telling you how to shoot the dice. He's not just saying, well, if you shoot these dice correctly, you're going to win. He tells you how to bet the game in order to maximize the dice control. I love Tony Leo. I think he's great. Yeah, I mean, he's commented on my stuff some, and I've talked to him a little bit. Yeah, I can't wait to meet him and play. I'd love to go play with him. I think he's awesome. He's more hop heavy than me. He definitely he utilizes the hop bets a lot more than I do. But I mean, he's awesome. There's no doubt he's awesome. Like I said, out of all the paid craps guru guys, he's my favorite. So, and obviously I've never been to any of them. I've never been to any of them. I've never paid for any of their seminars or anything. So, but I know a guy that's been to a lot of them, and so yeah, he's just my favorite. I like his videos. I get why he doesn't put out a bunch of videos, because he's trying to sell a product. But I wish he would put out a lot of videos. But I mean, I'm a free video guy, so I don't sell anything. None of my content, so it's all free. Yeah, it does take some balls. He talks about that right away, though, that you have to have a bankroll. He talks about that like that's the first part of his lesson, is that you got to have some money. No, I love Tony Lou. I think it's awesome. But on a man, I don't know, Skill. I need to get there though. I need to get out on the move a little bit. Again, it's just dealing with my wife's medical stuff right now. That's what's holding me up. It seems like on all my days off we have some kind of doctor appointment. So it's really been holding me up. I haven't even really been able to play myself. I haven't been going to the casinos a lot myself the last couple of weeks because every day I've had off, basically, we've been at the doctor. So, but on a different note, sometime in the next couple weeks, Color Up is going to have me on his show to do his challenge. So all you Color Up fans, I'll be one of the ones on his challenge. $250 is the bankroll, I think, in that thing that he does. Man, I haven't played with $250 bankroll in a long time, so it's a little trickier. He does play at a $5 table, so I could just scale all my stuff that I do to it. But yeah, it's different. I don't play that small. I mean, yeah, we don't know yet, Patty. We're going through all the process. But I'll be honest with y'all guys, right now, from all the signs, it doesn't look good. So, on his 2-foot table, yeah. No, it's just two things during the snowstorm thing. I ended up putting a flat spot on one of my tires. That's one of the things. And I just haven't went and got new tires yet. And then the other thing is just a lot of bumps. Yeah. Anyway, from early stuff, not early stuff. We went through a lot of tests and everything, and if it's what they think it is, it's not a good deal. They think it has potential to be ALS, which is not good. So, and I'm not trying to, make this a sad conversation or something, but that's the word that's leading. That's why we're going to so many doctors. That's why I've been traveling all over, going to all these doctors that are 400 miles away, and we're trying to figure out what this thing is that she's dealing with. But yeah, so that's kind of what they're thinking, and which is terrible. So I hope they're wrong. Sure, I've noticed every roll show up in bunches, every number. I've probably seen 200,000 rolls of dice between my table and live. I don't have any idea how many rolls of dice I've seen. It's a lot. Whatever it is a lot. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna run in here and get some lunch. You guys have a great day. Thank you for riding to work with me. Appreciate y'all listening to my story. And y'all have a great day.